Hi, my dear Fundoo Class students. How are you? Welcome to the session. In this video, we are going to learn about past perfect tense. Tenses, as we know, are really important, and I'm sure after attending the class, you'd be more sorted and clear where do we use past perfect tense. Before we begin with today's session, could I please request you to use the share button and invite all your buddies for the class. Hi to everybody, those who have just joined. Welcome to the session. So good to have you. Hi to my lovely students. Let's get the session started. My name is Juhi. I have 12 years of experience in training students for various competitive exams. I also happen to be a life skills coach and a content creator. I've done my bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. Hi again to those who have just joined. Welcome to the session. I hope you have invited all your friends and buddies for the class. So good to have you. Let's begin. So, I always believe that tenses are really easy if we understand the usage correctly. Unfortunately, most of the times we would just want to cram and not absorb. So please focus on understanding of the rules and understanding of the application. Once you are sorted on this ground, you will see that you will find a lot of ease in solving the questions. So where do we use the past perfect tense? So past perfect tense is used when we talk about an action that has happened before a specific time in the past. Right. So let's consider some examples. The usage, the form should be clear. It would be had plus verb third form. Please understand verb third form is also called past participle. Now, this is very important that there is no variation in terms of singular and plural as it happens in present perfect. So I'm sure we must be remembering this point that has is used when we are talking about singular subjects and have is used when we talk about plural subjects, when we talk about present perfect tense. Here in past perfect tense, you'll use had plus verb third form in both the cases. When we are taking the subject to be singular and also when we are taking the subject to be plural, there is no change in this form. You could please write it down because this at times creates a lot of mess and unnecessary confusion. So I'll give you 30 seconds. Quickly write this and then we'll discuss further. I'm sure you have noted. So let's take a look at this interesting statement. Here, as we can see, past perfect is used. So this is had plus verb third form. You had studied English before you moved to New York. So this is an action that has been done before a specific time in the past. So before moving to New York, you had done what? You had studied. So this is how you use past perfect tense. So usually when we talk about past perfect tense, there would be two tenses running in the statement. One will be past perfect and the second would be simple past that will help us understand that what is the time period that has been mentioned before which we are using past perfect. Say, for instance, this particular example. So you had studied English before you moved to New York. So I'm sure you can see moved is another tense in this case. You call it tense or action or verb. And had studied is representing the action that has happened before a specific time in the past, right? So when we talk about the question, you start with had, then you put the subject and then you use the verb third form or past participle form. Had you studied English before you moved to New York? So this is the correct version. At times, when we frame sentences beginning with had, students find it slightly intimidating and unnecessarily confusing. They actually see that when we make a sentence like starting with have you studied English before you moved to New York, this they found more correct, but this is not wrong. Please keep in mind that you can have a question statement in past perfect tense. How do you frame it? The sentence is already there on the screen. Now, Further, let's move to the negative sentences. So how do we make a negative sentence? You simply insert not, right, between had and verb third form. So here what we have done is we have inserted not, right? So quickly write the verb forms and then we will proceed. Everybody quickly do so and then we will take the discussion ahead. So I'm sure you've noted. Very well done. That's great. So let's keep the discussion going. So, like I said, the past perfect expresses the idea that something has occurred before another action in the past. So, that is the reason I was telling you, I was mentioning that you would be having two tenses. Let's quickly come back to that example again that you can see moved. So, this is again in simple past and had studied is in past perfect. This is the usual format in which you'll find past perfect sentences, right? So, this idea is illustrated here on the screen. The past perfect expresses the idea that something occurred before another action in the past. So that is the reason both the tenses would be in past, right? It can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. This is very important because see, when we talk about simple, past perfect tense, we say before a specific time in the past. When we say present perfect tense, again we say that action has happened. But here, how would it make a difference with past perfect tense? Here we'll specifically, precisely talk about actions that have happened before a specific time in the past, right? So I will write the sentences like this. I have finished my homework. Okay. Now, if I have to make a sentence with past perfect, I would say I had, then let's keep this part to be the same, finished my homework before my lunch arrived. So in this case, what are we trying to do? We are mentioning that the completion of action happened before a specific time in the past. However, in present perfect, we don't have this criteria. So this is where the usage difference occurs, right? So you can quickly pen it down so that you are clear when we talk about present perfect and when do we talk about past perfect. Quickly pen it down and let's proceed further. So I'm sure we are sorted. Let's move. And there's so many examples. So I'd never seen such a beautiful beach before I went to Kauai. So it's a beautiful place. Before I went, can you see this, right? I did not have any money because I had lost my wallet. Tony knew Istanbul so well because he had visited the city several times. So these are few examples where we are using past perfect tense. See, examples are always important. The more you're going to, put focus on examples, the better clarity in terms of concepts you will get, right? So let's further move. Some more examples. So the first one is in terms of a question. Had Susan ever studied Thai before she moved to Thailand? She only understood the movie because she had read the book. Christine had never been to an opera before last night. So I'm sure we are clear with the examples, everybody. So now let's see what is the further point. Now with non-continuous verbs and some non-continuous uses of mixed verbs, we use the past perfect tense to show that something started in the past, continued up until another action in the past. Oh, this looks so confusing. What is this technical definition? Let's quickly take an example to grasp this. We had had that car for 10 years before it broke down. So the activity of possessing the car continued till the event of it breaking down, means it going wrong or it started malfunctioning happened, right? So see, at times when you read the definitions, you will get so intimidated. What is this happening? This is so intense. I hate grammar. But when you will see the sentences and learn the application, you'll find it so easy. So this is saying that you use past perfect for an action that started and continued to happen before a certain specific action. So we had the car, and had is correct, right? Let me tell you. So a lot of students do ask me that, ma'am, can we use had together? Yes, we can. That is the answer to your question. So we continued to possess that car for 10 years, right? Before it broke down. Broke down means it started malfunctioning, right? Let's come to the next example. By the time Alex finished his studies, he had been in London for over 8 years. So he was there in London for a period of 8 years till his study came to an end, right? It's an action that's continuing for 8 years, right? See the third one. They felt bad about selling the house because they had owned it for more than 40 years. So for 40 years, the action continued. Possession happened before they actually sold the house, right? So now what I'll do is I'll again take you back to this very complex definition. Just quickly read it and see how it would make more sense to you. Right? Isn't it easy? I'll ask you to write one example, any example that you like the most or that you found easy to understand, so that when you revise the concepts, you have the rule and you have the example, then it would not be that difficult for you to grasp. Quickly do so. See, whenever we are attending grammar class, we need to have our notebook and pens handy. Please make it a rule. Otherwise, you'll really find it troublesome to revise again, right? So keep a notebook and your pen or pencil, however you choose, to be with you when you are attending the sessions, right? So let's further proceed. And before we further proceed and do this very interesting drill, it's time to take a tiny, whiny break. Quickly take a quick break and join me back in 2 minutes, everybody. So your time starts now. Go and fetch a glass of water and come back with a lot of energy because now we are going to solve a lot of questions. Everybody, please take a quick break and join me again. So we see many of the students joining us back again. Welcome back to the session. Let's wait for another few seconds and then we will begin with the discussion. Everybody, let's wait for another few seconds so that everybody can join in. The more the merrier, isn't it? So let's begin with the discussion now. What are we going to do? We are going to do an interesting drill. Before that, let us quickly revise what did we learn in this session. So we talked about past perfect tense. The usage would be had plus verb third form. We made it very clear that whether the subject is singular or plural, had plus verb third form would be used in either of the cases. Then we use past perfect tense when we talk about an action that has happened before a specific time in the past, right? So please pen it down in case you have not, that we use past perfect tense to talk about an action that has happened before a specific time in the past, right? So let's begin with the drill. What are we waiting for? So these are few sentences in front of you. You have to use the past perfect tense and complete these sentences and use the main verb written in the bracket. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Finish these 5 sentences, then we will get into the discussion. Quickly do it. Put your focus absolutely on the questions. Align your awareness or the rules that you have learned and see how quickly you would be able to answer. And you should always practice questions. At times, what do we see? Students are present when we are teaching theory or when are we teaching the concepts, but when it comes to question practice, they would want to just go, and they have this somehow the confidence that they would be able to manage. It is good that you get that confidence, and it would be great you would be able to manage, and I'm sure you would be. But it is always wise to practice immediately after learning a concept of grammar. Immediately, don't take that break, because most of the times that break is responsible where our rules mess up, so that we wouldn't want. Whenever you complete a grammar concept, you learn something new in grammar, immediately within few minutes, or within the same day if possible, practice as many questions as you can, and you will see that will make a huge difference in your understanding and awareness about the concept, right? So let's wait for another 30 seconds, and then we will begin with the discussion of these 5 questions. We have some amazingly correct answers coming our way. Very good. Kudos. And those who are still doing, quickly finish it so that we can begin with the discussion. So, as we discussed, that had plus verb third form would be used when we talk about past perfect. So let's start with the first sentence. So what is the verb form we need to use? Right. So we are going to complete the sentence like this. She had written. Okay. She had written a novel on humanity. He had done his homework. They had beaten a man very badly. You had already read the rules. So see, what is the function of already? This is acting as an adverb. So what is an adverb? That helps us understand how did the action happen, right? So I'll give you some more examples, slightly digressing, but it is always fun to learn a new concept whenever you encounter. So when we talk about the terms adverb is used to tell you more about verbs that we know and we have seen in this sentence. Adverbs and adjectives, surprising, nothing to be surprised. This is actually a grammar rule. I'll give you some examples. So I'll make one sentence for you. She runs quickly, right? So in this case, runs is the verb and quickly is an adverb and it is explaining how did the action happen, right? Now I'll slightly tweak the statement and I'll make it like this. She runs very quickly. Okay, so in this case, runs is again the verb, quickly is again the adverb. And now, how quickly is she running? She is running very quickly. So, what is the word very doing? It is helping us explain another adverb. So, very is an adverb that can help us qualify another adverb, which is quickly in this case, right? Let me give you one more example. The third example, let's consider she is a very pretty girl. Okay. So now in this case, pretty is an adjective because how is the girl? She is pretty. And how pretty? Very. So very is an adverb. So I've given you examples for all the three uses. Adverb can be used to qualify a verb, like in the first sentence. Let me label it for you. This is sentence 1. Adverb is also used to qualify another adverb, which is the second statement. And adverb is also used to qualify an adjective, right? If this information is new for you, please pen it down. You'll find it very useful in solving some questions in grammar. So quickly pen it down. I'll give you 30 seconds and then we'll finish this question and proceed further to the next part of the drill. So I'm sure you've noted, right? So let's take a look at the last sentence on the screen. She had. So had is already there. Lucky we are. So she had worn. So we are simply going to place verb third form here. A beautiful dress at the party. I'm sure we are clear with these questions. In case you got all the questions right, very good. In case you did not, I'm sure now you know the right answers, right? So let's proceed to the second part. We have again 5 sentences and you need to finish the sentences using the past perfect tense. So quickly do it and then we will get into the discussion. Everybody please finish this exercise, these 5 sentences. I'll give you 2 minutes. Then we will begin with the discussion. Please do it. Put your focus, channelize your energy. You know the verb forms, very important. We have discussed right in the beginning, and the questions are easy. So, this is absolutely a perfect situation, and we are just filling past perfect tense here. So, should not be very difficult. We have got some correct answers coming our way. Very well done. Let's quickly wait for a few more seconds for everybody to finish, and then we can begin with the discussion. Great. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the first sentence on the screen. John had come to the wedding. Had the snake bitten on his leg? Like I already told you that if you have to make a negative sentence, you place had, not, and then verb third form, had not paid any cash amount to the dealer. Let's take a look at the fourth one. They had already. So again, we have an adverb. See, believe me on this, English has got magic. The moment you start learning the rules, you'll find the rules around everywhere. The moment you start building on vocabulary, you'll find the words around everywhere, right? It definitely happens. This is something that I have experienced, my students have experienced. See, we just now learned about adverbs and you have another adverb, right? So keep your focus for the details and keep writing down the details, and you will see that you will learn the application and you will find the application in and around you, right? So they had already, let's finish this statement, given a knife to the boy to cut fruits, right? So let's take a look at the last one. He had not played any game yesterday, any game from yesterday. Okay, so I am sure we are clear with these 5 sentences as well. So kudos for the completion of the exercise. Now you have few sentences that you're going to take as your homework is very important, very crucial. Never miss on the homework part, be it of any subject, right? You'll find a lot of fundamental and conceptual clarity if you immerse yourself in diligently completing the exercises, right? So finish these statements, the answers will be provided to you. And please do search us on Facebook group at Fundoo Class. You get daily free live classes for kids. You can also find us on Instagram and tag us at Fundoo Class Live, right? Don't forget the tag Fundoo Class Live. And also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Fundoo Class. Follow and like us on our Facebook page at Fundoo Class, and do help us spread the word. Do tell your amazing friends and your cousins and your batchmates and your playmates about the lovely sessions that happen at Fundoo Class, right? Also, please don't forget to download our Fundoo Class mobile app. You can get it on Google Play Store. In case you're using iPhones, your parents are using iPhones, you can avail the app on the App Store for the iPhone users, right? And do share your videos of what you have learned with us, and wow, you can receive a participation certificate. Believe me on these adding these certificates to your profile is really beneficial in long run. So please don't miss the chance. We are eagerly and enthusiastically waiting for the videos to pour in. And the mantra to always improve is that you continue to learn and you continue to revise, right? I hope you really enjoyed the session. Please do take good care of yourself. Help us spread the word. God bless. Bye bye.